Hi Rachel, you can just type hi in the chat. Let's Hi Tracy. So let's wait up to like 8:10, and then we can officially start. Let's just give other members 10 minutes to join us, and then we start the meeting. Yeah. So in the meantime, I'm just going to start by introducing myself, and you guys can just type in the chat if you can hear me or not. I'll just say hi, your name, and I can hear you, so that we can know each other as we start the meeting, and also wait for others. So I'm Nancy Wangare, and I'm a computer science student in Metadia, and I'm the one who is going to take you through data science. I'm the lead in GDG Chuka. Yeah, and I'm also the ACA Chuka colleague. So I know some ladies from here, from my community. So yeah, it's really nice. And for those who missed the introduction session, yeah, don't worry, we have like the recording, and also I'm going to just give like a quick introduction before we start, so that you don't feel lost, and so that you can like have a brief introduction and a quick picture of what we are about to like work on right now. So yeah, so I've done my introduction. You guys can just type, don't be like so scared. You can just say hello Rachel. Yeah, Rachel said hi. Tracy, you can say hi as I try and reach other members so that we can know what we'll have. So I've sent, hey Tracy, nice to have you here. So I have sent like a data set, and and also I've have some questions that we're going to try and answer. And the reason why I'm using the questions is because I want to train us as data scientists, as the analyst you're going to be, as the scientist you're going to have like questions in mind at the back of our minds when we analyze data, so that we can not just be building visualizations, but we can be building visualizations that answer a question that's needed in the organization, or in the company, or in the product you're working with. And that's the reason why I chose this question in the visualization approach, so that question analysis approach, because when you're like approaching data, as I said during the introduction session, what you're going to start with is like we are going to start with asking ourselves questions. What are we trying to answer in this data? What are we trying to achieve? What's the goal of our analysis? We're not just going to come up with visualizations, but you're going to come up with visualizations that have meaning and impact to our analysis. And smart visualization, not smart in terms of colors, but smart in terms of they are meaningful, they are on point, and they are what is needed at that time. So it's time conscious. We're not using visualizations for the future or anything. So yeah, I guess the 10 minutes are up. So I'm just going to start, and yeah. So let me start by saying what continuing with what I was saying. As I was saying, our visualization, not a visualization, our data analysis journey and our data science journey is going to come from a point of answering questions that will be used in decision making. Decision making is a process where you're making a decision that's going to solve a certain problem. Let's say, for example, there is like huge company losses and you're the one who has analyzed and you have noted that. So this is going to help the company make decisions that are going to help the organization uh, lower the losses and increase profits. You're going to test the hypothesis. You're just going to do all this analysis work based on what is needed, not just the analysis. And the goal, the approach I'm going to use, it's we are going to be, how can I say it? We're going to be like analysts who are not just using tools. We're going to be analysts who are like actually not problem solvers. It's a form of problem solving, but what you're trying to do is you're going to be critical thinkers and analysts that actually deliver what is needed. I hope you're getting me. And yeah, that's actually my goal. And what I have in mind is after we are done with such a project, we'll come up with a dashboard. And from that dashboard, I require each and every one of you to come up with like a story, not like a storybook, but like a step and a process of what problem are you solving and to what conclusion have you come up with from the data. Like, what have you concluded from this analysis? What are you going to say to the management based on your analysis? I hope you're getting me. So let me just start and continue conceptualizing the idea of what I have for us. So this is the data set we are having, and before we jump to the questions, you guys can try. I hope you have your laptop so you can just. I'm going to use Excel. Let me start with this. So I'm going to send you guys the curriculum or the approach of the tools and how I'm going to follow them, because we can't cover all the data science tools. We can't go up to the SPSS. We can't go to. Okay, I can touch a bit of starter, but I'm not going to SPSS. There's another one called IPS ISP, ISP, some that like so vast. And I also saw prompt BI, which is like you're prompting the AI to like give you visualizations based on what you want. And that actually came and give and when I was in that program on the minute, every time I follow up their updates, I usually see like they're just introducing a tool that can do the analysis from and give you visualizations and whatever you want from just a prompt. So you're the one who is going to determine what do you need. So whatever you need from the dataset is what you're going to prompt. You're not just going to prompt anything. And that's what helped me see this light in data, where you're just not building using tools. We're using tools smartly. So yeah, so let me start. Let me not talk much, which we're supposed to talk much, because we need to know the goal, the end goal. I'm not just going to show you how to create visualizations and pivot tables just for decorations. I'm going to teach you, okay, not to teach you, to help you create visualizations that are impactful and what are needed and on point. I hope my point is clear. And if you have any questions, you can just type it on the chat and I'm going to help you. Let me share the screen. Hata sikuwa na share the screen. Okay, let me share the screen so that you guys can see. I'm not going to open my Digicam because yeah, we have like my camera is not that good. So yeah. So let me share my screen so that we can start going through the steps of learning our data before we jump to the questions, which is the step every analyst should. So yeah, this is the data set I've sent. It has the transaction ID, which are unique numbers. It has the date. It has the customer ID. I don't know if they're unique, but you can check if they're unique by checking for duplicates. We have a customer name. You know what a customer name is. And we have age and gender and region. You can see it's Kenya based, so it's a sales company that is in Kenya. And the region and the country, oh, not international, it's East African based. The product categories, the subcategories, and the product name, wrong raised again. So quantity, the unit price. The unit price is the price of a single unit. Uh-huh. Discounts, revenue, the payment method. You don't know how to meet those notifications. Payment method, the sales channel, either online or offline. Customer segments, on which segment, corporate, retail, like where the customer, okay, we're trying to get to understand this name. So like the customer segment is from which segment are the customers coming from, retail, wholesale, like where are they buying the equipment from. Like if it's wholesale, they know the price for wholesale. If it's retail, they know the price for retail. If it's corporate, they know the supplier knows like the price for such. The sales representative and the returning flag. So sales rep, we can also check on how the reps perform so that you can know who is performing highly, who is performing lowly. So those are some of the insights and things we can come up from this return flag. So return flag is okay. Then check. You can also tell me so that you can help me know what's. So what I usually do, if it's a new, come like I head for search engine optimization from Frontier, what I did is I took my time like knowing fast because I didn't know much about search engine optimization because I was doing data and I tried to learn the words and all that. Return flag in sales signals suspicious customer behavior, like excessive returns, returning used items as new or mismatched info, triggering alerts of review to prevent fraud, often managed by a software that scores return patterns to identify serial returners, while on platforms like Amazon, badges red for frequently returned can hurt sales, contrasting with trust building green ones. Yeah, so returned items those like excessive returns, returning used items as new, like maybe what can trigger return flags like high return frequency, a customer returning many items in a short period, damaged used items, returning products with wear, tear, and missing parts as new, mismatched details, discrepancies in customer name, address. Maybe they've delivered the wrong product. You see, no receipt, proof of purchase, returns without valid transaction records, high value stolen goods, returning expensive items, or those often targeted for theft. So yeah, it can help you detect fraud. So yeah, see these are relevant thing and it's calculated by a software. So this is something we've gotten from like EverPoint POS system, yeah, or an inventory system. You get it, yeah. So yeah, so we have known everything, the date format, you can check if it's correct. So it's in terms of date, month, and year. So you're checking the data types. You have the transaction ID, which is in terms of numbers, and I guess the transaction ID is unique, and the customer ID is in terms of both letters and numbers. So it's going to be a string. In Excel, okay, it will help us like a lot so that we can know. And then they have the customer name, which is a string, age, which is a number, gender string, region string, country string. The other rest are string, but this yes, no, it's a is it boolean? Boolean is true, yes, but it comes from like it's what is it called? A condition. It's a result of an if else statement. Wait. No, it's yes, no. So it's either two. So I guess it's boolean because it's only yes or no. And you can see, let's see the amount of sheets we have. We have is that part where they tell us the total number of sheets. This can help me here. Okay. Where is that place where they tell us the number? So we have like, oh yeah, we have 5,000 rows. No, we have 5,000 rows. And how many columns? Until T, we have 26 letters and it's starting from A. Okay, so we can just do, okay, let's do what I usually do is like, so we have, wait, when you have selected how many, wait, this one is taking like a lot of time. Okay, 18, C1 Pro, 20, 20. Oh, 20. Yeah, it's actually 20. We have 20 columns and 5,000 rows. Yeah, so if I 5,001 because of the column head, the row head, but we have like 5,000 like sheets worth of like now the data. So yeah, we can try and check for missing values, duplicates. But let me go through the questions and see if it's addressed in the questions. Yeah, data understanding. What are the columns in the data set? So actually my questions are in such a way that you can start this whole process like from understanding to now like the second step where you know like the questions. Okay. So what I usually do, I do control C and then you open Word and then you have them clearly. Open. So you guys can still follow the same steps. If questions kama hauelewi anything, feel free to ask. Hakuna any should not be scared. I'm literally a student like you guys. You should not actually be scared. So let's start with the first step, which is data understanding. And with data understanding, we have what are the columns? What do the columns in the data set? What are the columns in the data set and what do they represent? Are there any missing values? Okay, we'll do it. I did it in Power BI, but I was like, this is a good project to do also in Excel. But we'll also do it using Power BI, so don't be worried about that. So you see, the first step we're checking what do the columns in the data set, what are the columns in the data set, and what do they represent. So they are like labels, and we saw how like returning flag means what. We saw what's the you see the whole process that I went through, checking the data type, checking the transaction ID. The transaction ID, it's the unique value of each transaction that has occurred. So it can't be duplicated because you can't have two transactions at the same time. So if you have two transactions at the same time, you can know upper corner like something that is fishy going on. So without So that's how I'm going to show you how you can select. So you can just select all of them, and then you can go to data, and then you can go to remove duplicates. Continue with the current selection, remove duplicates. So no, I cannot remove duplicates. Let me not do that. Let me go home, and then like let me go to conditional formatting, and then highlight rules, more. Okay, click new rule, and then new rule I can say, okay, format only unique and duplicate values. Duplicates, and then format you can like, okay, the format you can choose like color. Okay, where did I use? Okay, this one, fill, yeah, fill, and then we can have color like this. Okay, a bright color like that, and then okay. And if there's a duplicate, you're going to see if kuna yenye imekuwa like highlighted which is not there. I know there's a way we can check for like duplicated values, the number of duplicates. So also I know that one in Python. I'm going to research about it in Excel. Yeah, but there's no there's no number that is highlighted, so that shows us like hakuna duplicates kwa transaction ID. Transaction ID and customer ID, we can just check if there is any or duplicates, and that's how we do it. So that you can know which ones are unique. Kama customer name, it's not it's not the primary key. Okay, not the primary key. It's not unique value, but I know transaction ID should be unique. If they're duplicates, that's how I told you can now detect fraud, because if the transaction ID is duplicated, it means that same transaction happened twice, and transaction can only happen once. So it's an indicator of fraud. So let me check one thing, and then I'll come back later. Not later, I'm just coming right now. I'm just trying to see what I use in checking for duplicates. Let's say the number of duplicated cells using Excel. You can use a COUNTIF formula to count the occurrences. And the one that they've said, the first one is home conditional formatting. That's the one that I used. So that was the first step. So I was right. And also you can now use a formula. Yeah. COUNTIF if A is comma A1 is, then you can help to count the occurrences that are identical. Yeah. But the one that is usually highlighted is selecting a range of cells, and then conditional formatting, and then highlighting cell rules, and then values, and then you choose a field. That's the one that you knew, and actually that's the one that is saved here. So yeah, that's how we check for duplicates. But you know, like something like customer name, age, people can buy the same age, people can have similar names, people can be the same gender, same region, same country, they can buy the same products, they can buy the same, or they can buy products from the same subcategory, from the same product category, right? Like you can see here, electronics and accessories. You see, you can see quantity, they can buy the same quantity. Unit price is the same for the same product, so it doesn't equal duplicate. Discount can apply the same. You can apply the same discount in different categories. You see, payment method, it can be the same. Sales can be the same. Customer segment, also the same. Like there are places where duplicates like is it's something that will be there, but in unique columns like transaction ID and customer ID, they must be different, because there are unique identifiers. Like transaction ID, it's a unique identifier of a transaction that has taken place. Customer ID, it's a unique identifier of the customer that has come to you, oh, meaning of your to buy your product. Even if it's the same customer, let's say he came on 21st of October 2024, and then he comes a different day, let's say on 2nd of September 2024, and they're going to be assigned a different customer ID name. Yeah, so that helps also in detecting fraud and also monitoring your sales. So, yeah, so that's the first step. And you see, understanding your data is usually critical. Don't rush here. This is where you get to know your data. Oh, see, don't rush to the main part of visualizations, because actually, when we get to machine learning, we're going to see why having a clean data that is making sense and is can help in improving the model that you're producing. It's like a giggle, garbage in, garbage out. So when you're introducing garbage in, you can't expect high performing models when you've introduced inconsistencies in your data. And you can see like such a such a what is it called? Such a skill or such an noting such a thing will help you, because you can see data is the backbone of artificial intelligence and models. So they need data. So you as an analyst, in order to be at par, you need to know such things. You're not just rushing to delivering. You're just taking your time, especially right now, in understanding your data, checking for inconsistencies, and making sure that the data that you're delivering is clean, so that the model output that the users are getting, the end users are getting, the visualizations that you're producing, they're right, the KPIs are on point. You see the metrics and the what is it called? Let's say, for example, the correlation, the whatever the ones that you're coming up with, like they are like on point and they are like correct, because your data that you're working with is also clean and correct. I hope you've taken note of that, because that's a critical thing. So yeah, so imagine introducing a inconsistent data with, like, let's say, for example, transaction IDs that are like repetitive. You see, it will be inconsistent because the model will know that transaction ID can replicate. So when we see that if it has already been trained with a data that has repetitive transaction ID, which transaction ID should be a unique value. So it knows like repetitive transaction ID is okay. And then you see transaction ID, if it's repetitive, it's an indication probably fraud is happening. And you see it's supposed to be unique. So fraud will be taking place in your company, in your business, and you won't know, because the analyst failed, because you won't even know where the problem comes from, and you will have like a lot of work spotting where the problem is from. But you see, you could have avoided this if you could have checked for like duplicates and all this in the first place. So I hope you have noted this, because these are the key things that I've learned over time. I'm also learning, and every day I get to learn, and I see it's actually making sense, right? Yeah. So right now we have seen that we have clean 5,000 rows and 20 columns. So now let's go to the next step that we have. We have checked for what they represent. Are there any missing values or anomalies that need cleaning before loading into Power? You see, okay, loading, or maybe for us jumping to analysis. Are there any missing values? So how do we check for missing values in Excel? So yeah, that's the next thing. Yeah. So I hope you're noting these things, so that later on, so what I usually do when finding missing values, I was checking for a message I'm being sent here. Mail, just a minute. So yeah, I was checking for like something. But yeah, that's done. So what you can do is, first you can use a formula. Second, there are many ways you can do that. And the good thing about artificial intelligence is that you can search for these things information is out there. You don't need to master. Okay, not okay. Master is good for faster shipping, but you don't need to cram like these things in your head. So just know the critical steps. Some things like formulas, generation of visualizations, they're supposed to be just knowing what you're supposed to need, what I started with. And now when you get to formulas and all that, information is out there. So don't worry about mastering all these formulas, because the formulas are so massive. And you can't tell me you'll for blank, you'll master for getting a different thing if whatever when you get to now to things like what is it called, data validation, you won't tell me you'll master all those things, you see. So the thing is, just to get what I've started with, like knowing the steps, following the steps critically, and you'll get the best analysis from that. So I hope you don't be afraid to like use artificial intelligence in like getting the formulas, because the formulas will be massive. You know, when I was learning data analysis, we were learning as a team, and the thing is, my team we didn't know, like we were in this mentorship program where we are peer to peer learning. So we had like analysts who knew things, and we had beginners like me, and we have people who are intermediate who don't know everything. So what we used to do, like we used to like take the questions and then ship them to ChatGPT, and then it gives us everything that we are supposed to do. You see, but the good thing is it helped me. Okay, it was good in following that approach, because you're going faster. You know where to get the formulas. But the good thing that I learned from there is like the people who are leading every week who are telling us why we are doing this. And the good thing I had like that exposure from like people who are actually working as analysts. So they were telling us which product to use, such things. How I've told you, like the cleaning process first, how to visualize. If you want to, like when you get to dashboards, how to make them eye catching, because I usually struggle with design. So that day I'm going to get someone who is going to teach us from that program. She works there. No, she works at an organization, so it's going to be so good if we get someone from an organization for free. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try it go for free. So I'm not guaranteeing it for free. So yeah, what we can do, we can have like a formula. It's blank. Let me send you the formula so that you can, okay, let me just type here. So what I usually do, if you want to like select your whole data set, I usually do something like selecting all the columns, the top columns. You can select all the columns and then control not there, control shift down there, and then control shift down. Yeah. You just do control shift the left arrow, and then you select the columns, and then control shift down, then you select up to the last one. And then we can start with the easiest one, which I told you about, going to conditional formatting, and then your rule, and then the value, not duplicate, not unique, kuna null. That contain blank, no blanks, blanks. So you just go to conditional formatting, format only cells that contain, and then blanks. And then format, you choose a color, let's say yellow, and then okay, then okay. So let's see. See, don't have any missing values, I guess. Okay, so it was. Also, there's another formula I'm going to show you guys, so don't worry. So there's no highlighted cell, that means we don't have blanks. anyway. Well, there's another formula which I'm going to show you guys. You see, you just select here a new cell, then you new column, and then you write blank, then enter. And then here we're going to use a formula equals. So like telling us that you just write where is equals if. So you select if. I know you guys are like computer literate, so I know I don't have like. And then it's blank. And then you select the range. And then close the brackets, comma, missing. Okay. Then so you see, so if it's missing, it will return missing. If it's okay, it will return okay, and you can see all of them are okay. So if you want to know if which one are okay or not, you can just do like this. You can take it down. There's a way I was doing such that um I'm only having only the how was I doing it? It was only how is it called? Oh, reminded me, guys, where you can only see the range. Like, okay, we'll get there also, but where you can get to see the range of the data that you have. You know which formula was? Let me try and remember. Is it home? No, it's it. Data. No, there is a way where you can just go. I'm going to research on it, and okay. We also it was in this question where we were able to like check if it's we have like two like values in a different you first see. Oh, you know what I'm saying, you remove duplicates. So when you remove duplicates here, you can just, if you remove duplicates, continue with this section, they remove duplicates. Okay, so you see, okay, so after you've removed duplicates, you see we are remaining with okay. So that means okay is like all over the place. You've gotten what I was trying to do here. So it means all of the cells were okay, which is easier than like checking through where the yellow is. And maybe you have genders and shapes. You've gotten my point. So this formula is much simpler when checking for blank. Then if it have missing and okay, you can see. And then you can also, if missing, and then you select so that you can know the columns that are missing and the columns that are okay. Hope that's okay. Even if we found like missing values, we can remove blanks. There's a way you can remove blanks. There's a way you can remove duplicate. Let's say, for example, here transaction ID tungetoa, kama ya transaction ID tungetoa duplicates, tungebaki na 5000 minus 1, 5001 minus 1, so that you can know kuna moja yenye ilikuwa duplicate. Let's say for customer ID, control shift down, and then we get continue. with the selection, remove duplicates. Okay. No duplicate values found. So you see customer IDs, like it's purely unique. So you guys have gotten the point what I was saying. So yeah, you knowing the data types and knowing which are supposed to be unique, which is supposed to be in Excel we usually call them like the primary key and the that's how is your terms. But yeah, there's the one that you know it's not supposed to be duplicate like customer ID and transaction ID, which are unique identifiers. Yeah, are unique identifiers. So yeah, hope point my point has gotten home. Not even seeing the chat. You guys can say if you're okay so that I can move to the next step. Uh-huh. So the next question is, how is revenue calculated? Check formula. Quantity times unit price times 1 minus the discount. So discount is calculated on a percentage of 100. So it's like 1 is the maximum. Discount ni what they have removed. So this is the formula that we're going to use. And I love this data set. This was like the best selection. Cause I've just seen the first thing is understanding your data. The second thing is business questions. What the dashboard should answer. You remember when I said you're supposed to, what does the business expect from you at that time? You see, yeah. So just note such things down so that you can become good out there. You won't rush to the product first. So quantity. So we are supposed to calculate the total revenue. So you just go and you're going to. Okay, actually, I'm supposed to do all this in a new in a new cell. Okay, let's just do this. You can try it. You can just copy all of it and then have it in a new cell. I don't know if I should just do that so that I can maintain the original and now have the analyzed data. So yeah, yeah, control C. Then I'm just going to have it here as the new data set that I have. Yeah, so I'm going to start from scratch. You can try the things that you have done. I hope you guys can just see there if you're at par with what I'm doing so that it can be as interactive as it can with all the audio is not there. You can just type it there. You can notice how I'm not rushing because it's this first step is critical. Like you're supposed to get what you're supposed to know when you're starting this thing. You're just not rushing to things mbio. Like we have like a whole semester, and even if we do data analysis for the whole semester and you have mastered it perfectly, that's my joy. Not just jumping from one thing or another, you see. I know most of you are second years and first years, which you have time to like master your skills. And by the time you're out there, you're just smart in the way you're analyzing your data. You're just not analyzing. You get it. So let's go to the next step, which is total revenue. And if you have suggestions, you can also say it loud. I'm also a student. If you have anything you want to highlight, you can just say. I should also be learning from you guys something. So yeah, total revenue it's going to be the unit price times the quantity minus the discount. Okay, if they say they're giving you 40% discount, that means it's 40% of the price. So the discount is the price minus the total percentage minus the discount. That's the price. So revenue. What is total revenue? Revenue is everything that is coming in. Wait, what are they asking? Are there many missing values or an okay, not there? How is revenue calculated? Oh yeah. How is revenue? You can just go and search what is revenue. I told you you're supposed to understand these terms. Maybe you're just there and you don't know what total. You can just even type it there so that it can be. So what it's saying, income, especially when an organization and a substantial has a sub and of a when of an organization and of a substantial nature. So total amount of money brought in by a company's operation measured over a set amount of time. A business revenue is its gross income before subtracting any expenses. So so this is the definition. So the revenue, it's actually the total sales that it made minus the discount. So the net revenue is when you minus the discount. Now what the company actually got. Also, it's like gross salary minus the deductions. You get it. So that's when you remember when you did minus the deduction plus the allowances, and now you get the net pay the same way. So here when you're not calculating the total revenue, here we're calculating the net revenue, of which the question is understanding the data. So we're not calculating anything, we're just understanding how it came about, how is revenue calculated. You see, from a calculator revenue. So what they have done is you can even check here. Let's use an example here. And though I'm not calculating the net revenue, we can do sum equals sum for, is it sum? No, it's products, because product is like the unit price times the quantity. Unit price is for one, unit price quantity enter 1064. So we have 1064. So the 1064, then their revenue is product. So equals product. Okay, let me just do it using the formula for now. So let me say equals this into brackets quantity times unit price minus, close the brackets, minus the one which is 100% minus the discount. No, minus the discount. Let me see if minus. No. Is it minus times the discount, the total times the times? It's actually times 1 minus the discount. Yeah. So you guys have gotten what I've done, or I should go back to the mathematical side. Actually, if you're getting into data, mathematics, mathematics is not hard, especially in data, but you just have to kukumbuka the questions we used to do back then in high school. Because now here, what they have given as revenue, it's what the company has gotten minus the discount. Quantity times unit price is what it will have gotten if the discount was not there. So that if the discount is there, if the discount is 4%, so that means the customer is buying the total money he or she will have bought minus the discount. Which here what I've done is what the company is getting. So what the company is getting, it's the total price minus the 100% minus the percentage discount. So after you've removed the discount, the money that the company is supposed to get, let's say if it's this is a 4% discount, so it's like 100 minus 4, so it's 96% of the total price. Is the point home? Like, have you understood how they've calculated the revenue? You can type yes there, and you can just say yes, we are together. Yeah, so that I don't feel alone here. Rachel. Okay, let me check all the button. Yeah, so Rachel, you can just say yes. Tracy, you can say yes. I can know you're at pass so that I cannot be talking and talking and talking, and probably the point is not home, or maybe even my mic is unmuted. I'm just talking. Oh, it's muted and I'm just talking, and maybe all this the whole hour I'm not like even okay. So Rachel is saying we are together. Nice. Hope you guys are trying what you're doing on your laptop so that when you get on Saturday, right now I'm just like giving you, you're wondering why we're not that technical right now, but right now I'm just, it's the introduction part still, so I'm just trying to give you an overview, steps, the logical part before we get into the hands-on part, which Saturday, guys, hope you guys will be there so that you can see now how to do it with your hands. You guys, people usually complain in uni when I touch like the hands-on skills, but here I'm teaching you hands-on skills on Saturday. If you could just come and sacrifice your time and come like now learn these things when we are together. We finish this project, we come up with a dashboard, we come up with like a story from all those questions that, and we come up with a complete analysis that you can add on your GitHub and use it in add it on your portfolio that you can use it to apply for jobs to see or internships. So yeah, let me continue with the analysis before let me just do one question, then we can wrap it up because I know in 1 hour we're going to be done, but at least you've gotten something, especially that understanding. This was the critical part, like like hata ukienda home, if the point is okay, unajua uko home, like when you're later on you can just go try and see, like you can see, like here for example you can see there's a product category, so it's a product category, it's like a tree product category at the top, and then it has subcategories, another product. You get me? So a subcategory can a product can belong to this. Okay, a subcategory can have many products, and a product category can has many subcategories. And the subcategories have now the products. Yeah. So let me continue. I don't know why the product name is add computer throughout water name spent without employee certain particular item American public. Maybe they have a way of like naming their products. Check on this. So yeah, let me go to the next question. These are questions. What is that the key thing that I was telling you about analysis? So both to increase its size because it's a main topic. What is the overall revenue trend over time, daily, weekly, and monthly? So yeah, you see, these are so many questions. Before we jump to the dashboards, we have to answer these questions. So yeah, the first thing, what is the overall trend, revenue trend over time, daily, weekly, and monthly? So now we have it's this one I'm just going to introduce for our technical sessions because you see this is hands-on. We have already understood what we are up to. So on Saturday we are just working on answering these questions, and then we finalize next week on dashboard. Then with another thing that we must start with, like is our dashboard. I'm going to bring our coverage and be available. You can tell us have your dashboards before we now start designing our own. You see how we have understood the dashboard data before we start jumping in the questions. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. So yeah, let's go and see. So here we have a date, a year, and we have like a month. So we need to have separate columns for dates, not for date, for year and for month. Which formula are we going to use? Go home and come back on Saturday with it. So the next thing is which products or categories generate highest revenue. But this is our takeaway. We can just do it. So how do you split sales into dates and month and year? That's our next. That's the challenge that we have. And now you see we have started like getting into formulas. Yeah. So think about it and then tell me. So yeah, I'm saying the how people are not yet done. I don't want people to then is stops recording. Let me see if it can stop. Or you guys can tell me if we can continue or like we can just stop there so that I don't take much of your time. Can already see we are like two participants. So we are still okay. Yeah, I'm just on my own. We are with Rachel. So Rachel, you can just tell me. I guess Tracy has left because time is up. And yeah, I won't like take much of your time. So just go and know how we're going to split the dates into months and years so that we can have the monthly analysis and the yearly analysis. Yeah. So yeah, that was today's session. What we got to learn today is we got to know how to start with data. When you're presented with your data sets, where do we start from? Like that's the question. So we just said that we're not going to jump into tools and dashboards and visualizations. Actually, what you're going to start with is understanding the data set, checking of any for any inconsistencies like missing values, duplicates, our like unique our key, not unique, our yeah, our unique columns and no columns that are supposed to be unique like transaction ID and customer ID so that doesn't have any inconsistencies. And I told you the importance of that is that it helps us have like work with consistent data, and like when we go and progress further to machine learning, it will help us to produce models that are like up, how can I put it, like up, good models because we have given them clean data. That's why I said the concept of go like garbage in, garbage out. So yeah, let me go for those guys. Rachel, thank you. And you can type goodbye. And I'm really glad to seeing you and also Tracy and other people start with your data journeys. And yeah, even me, I'm continuing with it. So yeah, it's also a learning point for me. So yeah, thank you. You can just say thank you there so that I can know you're still on. And see you on Saturday, please. I hope you're there. So yeah, hope you've said something. Let me just see in the chat. At what time is the Saturday session? Let me check. We can stop there for today. Yeah. I also don't want to bombard you guys with like a lot of things, and you see the way you're supposed to be systematic. Yeah. Let me check. Man, I'll just send in the group so that you guys can. Or we can just stop there and then I'll send then then I can just yeah, and then I can share in the group and I'll also share with you about it. So goodbye and have a nice night and thank you for coming.